I used to think that finding a life coach was hard, but it turns out I was just looking in all the wrong places. What's up, guys? My name's Sean. I'm a coach who helps overthinkers get things done to live the lives that they actually want. I'm here to tell you that I overthought long and hard about where to find a coach. I'd been working on myself for years, passionate about self-development, reading the books, watching the videos, and all the podcasts, all the greats were talking about coaching and how important it was and how transformational it was for them. And I was inspired. I wanted to find a coach. But honestly, it took me a few years of searching off and on for a coach before I actually found and hired one. A big part of that was just not knowing where to look. By the end of this video, you'll know where to look to find a coach that's right for you as an individual person. When I wanted to hire a coach, I did what so many people do, and I just went to Google and went, Google, where to find a life coach, how to find a life coach for me. The majority of the results were the platforms. I think back then it was only Numi. Now there's things like BetterUp and Coach.me, and new ones are rolling out all the time. Honestly, the profiles I was met with on these directories just felt dry. It felt like a resume and not actually a person. They were flooded with all their credentials and information, and I couldn't be bothered to talk to most of them. The times I did have calls with these people, they all just fell flat. It wasn't a person who I felt really understood me. They were doing their best. I'm sure that they're great coaches. There just wasn't that level of a resonance of really connecting with a person. I also asked some friends and family members, but back then I didn't know a single person who had ever been coached, let alone somebody that might be a coach. So finding someone in my personal network just simply wasn't an option. The directories all fell flat. The profiles read like resumes. There just wasn't enough information about the person to really feel their energy or their values or to really feel like I could understand them at all, to understand their ideology, to see if we would connect on any kind of a level. They would have lists of their credentials and reviews and all the information that they should have to make them stand out. And I just felt like I was being flooded with useless information, not actually tangible things. The question I kept asking was, do these credentials even matter? Are these reviews from people like me? Is this person actually going to understand me? It was like online shopping for shoes. I couldn't tell. I didn't have enough information. I remember when I was looking at starting side businesses and side hustles, and I was looking for a business coach to help in that. I talked to a guy named Russell from Florida, and he had only ever worked in business, then became a business coach. That doesn't make you a bad business coach, but I felt like I was really craving somebody to help with the bootstrapping startup phase. And I talked about how I had been exploring a number of ideas, and he just came back at me with, "Well, you're all over the place." It's like, yeah, that's why I'm fucking talking to you. I spoke with another woman named Mina, and I had a list of businesses I just was not interested in. I was like, I'm not interested in real estate. I've looked into the current market. I'm not interested in hotels. That's just real estate masquerading as a business. I'm not interested in restaurants, and there was a couple other things. And she got real quiet and started asking me more questions, whatever. Ultimately had a second session with her, and then it's like, okay, so what are the businesses that you own? Real estate, restaurant, hotels. And it's like, couldn't we have had that conversation the first time? Did you need to withhold that information from me? Because if you would have just said, hey, I have experience in the industries that you're not interested in, it would have been okay. We could have moved forward. But I felt like she was holding back. It just didn't feel right. My personal experience with the platforms was it felt like a waste of time for the coaches and a waste of time for myself. There just wasn't enough data in these profiles and from these calls to really make a good connection. When it comes to referrals, again, friends and family, I had zero coaches in my network. Nobody even knew of somebody that had been coached. Years later, down the line, I did meet a friend who was friends with a coach. That coach I did get connected with, but she primarily focused on spirituality, and that's just not stuff that interests me. So referrals might not be your strongest method of coaching. Absolutely ask the people that you're close with. If they know somebody that has a coach, phenomenal. Connect with them, see if you resonate. But how well your referral network is going to depend a lot on your network. Now that I live in Southeast Asia and obviously I've interviewed coaches, I can give you an entire list of coaches. Even just being here, you meet coaches all the time, especially if you've gone to Bali. I've heard that it's 80% coaches down there. But if you're coming from rural North Dakota or something similar, you might not have that at your disposal. Use your discretion, ask around. If you're not getting good results, don't beat your head against the wall. It's okay. There are other options. So we've been talking about where to not find a coach. Where is the right place to find a coach? And honestly, the answer is pretty obvious. It's not Google, it's not your friends and family, it's social media. The algorithm already knows you, it's already trained to you. And when you start looking for coaches with the algorithm's data on you, you're going to find good results. The biggest thing with a coach is the ability to feel that resonant, that intimacy of real human connection, to feel like this person could see you, this person can understand you. How do you know that from social media? Go watch people's content. See if it resonates. If you watch 5 of somebody's reels and they're all talking about points that are relevant to you and you feel like you can trust them, that's a phenomenal start. You're really learning about the way they speak, the way that they think. Odds are, if you have a call with them, you're more likely to feel good and feel connected. How many times have you clicked on somebody's profile and you've watched one reel and gone, that's enough? Somebody pops up on your feed, they say 3 words, that's enough. Intuitively, you kind of already know what you're looking for, whether you're actively aware of it or not. But the goal in finding a coach is finding somebody who understands you, who can believe in you. It doesn't really matter whether you come from similar or different backgrounds. I coach people from across the world. What matters is the ability to see and communicate the same way. So I'm going to use myself as an example. If you go to my Instagram and you watch 5 of my reels, then you're going to have a good idea of whether you do or don't resonate with my ideology. Probably the biggest example, if you look back to Hello Dr. Kai, if you go look at his Instagram or his TikTok, he's got very developed methodology. If you go look and you resonate with him, then phenomenal. Reach out to him for a call. If you have no frame of reference, look back at some of the interviews. Use the power of the algorithm and just start searching for life coach, personal development coach, career coach, business coach, whatever you're looking for. Start searching for that. Start watching people's content in that area or reach out, have a few phone calls. Basically, anyone who identifies as a coach on social media, when you go to their profile, you're going to be able to click on their website and you'll see everything that you would find in a new me profile. Plus, you actually have a ton of data about the way they operate, the way they think, the way they speak, and you'll know so much more just by the content that they put out. You can tell you that of the coaching calls that I had from the platforms, many of those coaches, if they would have had 2 or 3 reels for me to view, I would have known that I never needed to talk to them. So use this to your advantage. That doesn't mean go doom scroll coaching content for the next 12 hours, but take a look. Go understand what could be important to you in a coach and see if there's somebody's messaging who feels good. Then actually take the next step and book an exploratory call with them. So as you're looking on social media, obviously there's some pros and cons. If you're on YouTube, they're putting out long form content. It's going to take you longer to get through that content, but you're going to get a lot more data on that person. TikTok and Instagram both have the ability to get you that short form content just to see if there's some fast resonance there or not. LinkedIn, if you're looking for a career or a business coach or anything on that professional side of things, is really going to be your best platform. It's a great search engine and people that are there really stand out. Personally, since I'm a life coach focused on personal development, I don't use LinkedIn. I really focus a lot on Instagram. I am also on TikTok. Of course, here I am on YouTube, Spotify, podcasts. When I stopped cold searching and started watching content, it became really clear really fast of who I actually did and did not resonate with. So how do you know if a coach is right for you? Look for a values alignment. What are they talking about and does that matter to you? And I'm going to use examples of people that I have interviewed. So if you want to learn more about these, check back to the old videos. Nick Pollard, the people displeaser, his whole thing is about boundaries. As an American, boundaries are super important. How do you navigate yourself in relationships? I have friends who are Asian and from Eastern Europe, and they say that boundaries are American propaganda. So there's going to be some cultural differences there. Are these things important to you? Another one, Yossi Fisher, a spiritual guide. His primary thing is meditations, visualizations, and helping people get aligned and empowered. Me as a person, I'm not super into spirituality. I love Yossi. I think that he's a great guy, but his messaging doesn't really inspire me to go, man, this is exactly the guy that I want to work with. If you are a spiritual person, I can't recommend it enough. Go check him out. Hello, Dr. Kai. He talks a lot about rewiring your emotional DNA. He specializes in breaking generational trauma. If those are the kinds of things that you need to work on, then he's going to be perfect. Now, if you're looking to transition into remote work that actually fits you as a person, you're going to want to go talk to Marcos. If you want to build a freedom-based business, then you're going to want to talk to Dina. It all depends on what's important to you and your actual goals. Then you want to find a coach that fits with these things. How do you feel when you watch their content? Do you feel engaged? Do you feel energized? Do you feel understood? Do you feel like somebody's actually speaking about problems that you're familiar with? Or does it feel like they're speaking in jargon that doesn't make any sense? Check to see if their content is consistent. Does it feel like their content is really putting out value, or does it feel like their content is just trying to sell you something? See how they interact with people in the comments, or do they do live streams? Do they seem approachable? And the big thing, don't be afraid to book multiple calls with more than one coach. It's okay. You're interviewing them too. If you're going to hire them, you should make sure that you hire the right one. If you have no idea where to start, then start here. I've got interviews ranging from a self-mastery coach to a career coach to business coaches to a spiritual guide to different kinds of personal development coaches. Watch those. You might get a sense of what is and isn't right for you, who does and doesn't resonate. Check out different niches. There's lots of different modalities out there. There's lots of people that operate in different ways. Early podcasts are basically just a coaching sample platter. There's a wide range for you to get a taste of what is and isn't going to work for you. If you're still unsure and you've watched this video all the way to the end, here's my gift to you. Book a call with me and we'll talk about what is and is not important to you as a person in a coach. There's no pressure to continue working with me after, and I will happily connect you with any of the coaches in my network if one of them feels like a better fit. So skip the dry directories, start searching for coaches in places that you already spend your time, and let the right coach find you.